I just had a question about the image of God behavior or definition. How do you account for like special needs population, people in special needs populations that might resemble the Neanderthal kind of behavior that you mentioned, not being sophisticated maybe in their inventiveness, no complex language, not able to have religious expression? Does your model account for that at all, or do you know other models that do? Because I think the outcome might be to, and I know this is not your intent, to minimize their dignity, and I know you want to do the exact opposite. So,
yeah, that's a great question. I never thought about it before, and the way I would respond to that question is the archaeological data is giving us a general understanding of how modern humans behaved, or how the first humans behaved compared to the hominids. And so what it's essentially indicating is that these, in a general sense, that humans had this intrinsic behavior that we would understand as being image of God behavior. But also, as part of our model, we would argue that there's a physical interface between our spiritual nature or image of God nature and our ability to manifest that. So the brain essentially it's kind of like a hardware-software problem, where you can think of our spiritual nature as being like software and our physical nature like being like hardware in a computer system. And even though you may have software that's very good, if you have a breakdown in the hardware, that software isn't going to be able to function. So likewise, I would argue that if there's a physical breakdown, that image of God is still there, it just cannot be expressed, and so it's the expression is frustrated, but it doesn't mean that there isn't somehow that people that struggle with those types of difficulties are any less human by any means. I think they have just as much inherent dignity and worth as someone who doesn't suffer from those types of physical difficulties that prevents them, again, from expressing their true human nature, but it doesn't mean that human nature isn't there.